Let's see if everything is running as it should be. Let's also see if the NVIDIA broadcast works as well. Actually, it sounds like, I think I have the feeling it works. So let's check real fast if the stream is live. And then we're going to be playing some premium tags. Jesus Christ, I'm a bit tired. Sorry about that. We're going to be premium tags. Jesus Christ, I'm a bit tired. Looks like it works. Sorry if you can hear yourself twice in the background. That's because I have the stream on and I just needed to check. Yeah, today's goal is actually to gain some credits. You can see I have currently 3.3 million credits on my account. Obviously, I could just transfer it from gold to credits, but that's not something that I would ever do in World of Tanks. And I highly advise against that option because, well, I mean, every single time you play this game, you will earn credits. And if you have premium, well, you better just play some premium vehicles or some vehicles that you really like instead of buying the credits, except maybe if it's a good deal. But I would not really buy credits. At least I would not advise buying credits. I don't think that buying credits is a very good way to spend your hard earned cash and gold. So today's stream is not going to be super competitive. We just are going to be playing some premium tanks. Probably we're going to be probably just going to be playing a couple of tier 8s, and there is no big fuss around that. So this is a second live stream so far, and hopefully we can keep it on like a week by week basis. Let me just see if everything is working with the stream and if the quality is correct. Just trying out several settings. I did improve. The bitrate should be a bit better, so you should be able to actually see more things. But I cannot really change the bitrate on my phone. So let me just see if everything works out on my phone. Then we're going to be jumping into some games. So back on topic. You can see that basically I have unlocked almost every single vehicle that I wanted to unlock in the game. And most of the vehicles that I own are like, standard tanks that I have in my garage. And there are still a few tier 10 vehicles that I haven't been able to buy. For example, I haven't been able to buy the Type 4 Heavy, which is a tier 9, yes, but I would like to get the Type 5, even though the Type 5 obviously isn't a very good heavy tank. The WZ, the 121, the WZ 132-1, the Chinese tanks, I don't own any of the tier 10s yet, except for the 121B and the 113. I did get the 113 before they turned it into a legacy vehicle. And obviously over here the CS63, that's still going to be one of my main concerns. We have the Stridswagen 103B that has been sitting around for 3 years now, or 4 years, in my garage that I haven't bought yet, and the Kranwagen as well. So there's a lot of credits that we need to grind. And obviously, because I haven't really had a lot of time to play World of Tanks, I haven't been able to, deal with any of that stuff. Now, if I would sell some of my vehicles, for example, tier 7, maybe some tier 8s, a few tier 9s that I don't play very much, I obviously could get those vehicles faster, but I like to have the vehicles in my garage. So I'm just going to be playing a lot of tanks, a lot of premiums, and that's what we're going to be doing right now. So I think this live stream is going to be about 2 hours long. Just a little 2 hour live stream right in here, starting off the weekend right, I would say. And let me just see what I can also put on here. I put some free XP, and I'm gonna be putting the crew XP as well. I have a shit ton of reserves. Like it must be in the thousands. as you can see, like I have for experience, I already have like 500 experience boosters times 50% XP, and yeah, those things are there. So I have to check real fast, because you can see that there are actually quite a few vehicles that don't have any real equipment on them. So I just need to see what I'm going to be playing. But I wanted to start off with the VK4503, because this is like the, you know, the King Tiger, like at tier 7, that I always love to play, but that was just not very strong. Especially if you consider the captured King Tiger, which is just like so much better in this vehicle because it has a fully upgraded turret. The big upgraded turret does make quite a bit of a difference. So let's jump into the game. The time of my stream might be a bit weird, since right now I think it's quite early in the United States, and since the biggest part of my viewer base is from the United States, I think we're not going to be hitting pretty big numbers, but that's okay. That's not too bad. I'm just going to be live streaming when I have the time and when I feel like it. So, this is a great game for the VK. We have quite a few things to shoot at. It's a tier 8 game. So, yeah, there are a few tanks that can be quite a bit problematic for us. We do have a bit of a lack of medium tanks, though. We have 3 medium tanks, they only have 2. And there are way too many tank destroyers in the game for my liking. But the good thing about this setup that we have right now is that there's no artillery, and we should be able... Don't crash. We should be able to do quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, you can see my ping is very bad, because I just realized I'm on the South American server. I don't understand why Wargaming constantly switches around these, you know, server logins, because I have it set on my... I definitely have it set on my North America login, but weirdly it just didn't save it. So we'll have to play on the South American server for now, or I have to restart the stream. Or I think you are able to pause this real fast, because I would probably need to pause it to be able to actually relog into the other server. This entire server structure on the Wargaming's part is just so antiquated and definitely very annoying if you think about it. So, unfortunate with the Type 59. There's the T-25, and I'm waiting for the... Okay. That sucked. He should be able to go right through my upper hull. If he shoots my turret, he's probably going to be able to do damage. There's an OHO over there. And I do not wish to catch a 152mm howitzer round. That would not fit into my schedule right here. But what we're going to be doing right now is we're actually going to go over to the Revalorice. We're going to be supporting him on that flank, and hopefully we can push that Type 59. Because having a Type 59 sitting right there... Oh, he was just ammo-wrecked. Wow. This WZ-111 is on fire. Like, he hit that T-71. He just ammo-wrecked that Type 59. And that opens up quite a few alleys for us. T-71 is right on the hill right there. So the question is, the question right now, should we engage them? Should we move over here? We know that there's a Löwe and a Oho, and they're both in a platoon. There's also a T-25, but I think with the adequate support, we can probably play this very nicely. We should probably just not get into a 2v1 situation with a Oho and a Löwe. I think we probably can take on a Löwe if we're a bit clever about it. But yeah, I would advise against it. This T-71 he's out of blood. He's right there. He wants some damage. Okay, so the Oho is actually running not the howitzer gun, which is nice to see. But he actually has a gun that does quite a bit of damage, has a very high rate of fire as well. And he actually is using a high explosive on it. This is, you cannot write this shit. Like, you literally cannot write it. He's firing high explosive at me with his 105mm, 107mm gun, while I expected him to be firing AP, and he literally fired high explosive. Like, this is a joke. Okay, it's kind of proven now that the Oho is the OHO, HEO, because he always has to fire high explosive. And it's exactly as I predicted, this 2v2 situation with a Löwe and a Oho right here. Yes, I know that there are tank destroyers behind us. I'm just trying to, you know, bind them to this place so that they have to actually push us. So if they push, I'm gonna be falling back. Then I'm gonna get some artillery support. But so far I'm waiting for the M4A1, because also we need to do some damage right here, right? We haven't done any damage, and the Oho is coming around the corner right now, so I'm gonna be falling back with the T-71. The reverse speed is actually not too bad. Oh boy, if I would manage to reverse like an actual player, not like a bot, that would be great. I just want one hit. Yeah. Okay. The thing is, the tank destroyers that we had in our back, except for the WZ, probably we only need the WZ, but except for the WZ, everyone else has grown tired of waiting for us to actually fall back, and now it could be that they just push around the corner to get some damage, at least in the end. Okay, at least we're getting some massive, you know, spotting damage right here. 500 per shot is pretty damn good. There the Oho turns around. The Löwe is gonna be turning around as well. Just fire at his turret. Fall back really quick. Yeah, Löwe has enough. He has enough. Okay, sorry, SU-152. He bounces. Our forward speed is not as great as our reverse speed. Okay, we are at a slope. Oh, the Löwe really wants me. Okay, I get it. Let's track him, and oh, come on. Thought somebody was going to be appreciating that extra damage. Track him again, and we get the assistance damage there, I think. Okay, there's the Oho. And we are going to be hopefully taking one more shot. We didn't pin him. And the SU-152 takes him out. So in the end, that engagement there was quite a bit awkward. I think for everyone involved, it was quite a bit of an awkward scenario, but still, we managed to deal with the enemies without any kind of real issues. This WZ-111 is really having a great game. Like, he was able to do so much damage from the second line, and I'm getting a push from the SC-152. Very kind of him. There are only 2 enemy tank destroyers remaining. So the last known place for the RHM is at the base, at D2, and we can see if we can put some pressure on him. He should be right, probably in that bush behind that rock. Yeah, right there he is. And the SC-100 takes care of him. Very, very nice. That was a very, very good game. Well, I mean, it was a good win. A very good game, certainly, for the WZ-111. We didn't fare that well. So, either way, a win is a win. We're gonna get some nice credits. That's all we need. 136,000 credits, 50,000 for the first premium day mission, and we have the boosters on as well. So we can get some credits in this house. So I'm just gonna be playing random premium tanks that I haven't touched in a very, very long time. So like, for example, this Loza M4A2 Sherman. I'm just gonna hop right into this one. Hopefully the crew is still on medium tanks and the crew is not on, yes, thank God. You can see that I'm not running equipment on a lot of my vehicles. Usually, back in the days, when there was an option for me to actually switch around and to put like the standard equipment like repair kits and repair kits, camouflage net, and binoculars, those things are all kind of gone because I do not want to I do not want to change it every single time I play the tank, and it's just so annoying. I also don't have enough. Well, I probably have enough of the kits to switch it around, but it takes so long, and I really think that it's not worth it, if I'm being honest with you. That's exactly what Wargaming wanted to achieve by adding that into the by adding it into the game. And it's a shame, because I think it was definitely a good way to be able to just have certain different equipment options that you could always put on your vehicle, even if you only had like 1 or 2 of those equipment types. That was, I think, always quite nice, and it's a bit of a shame that they took it out. And I think the outcry in the community was probably not big enough. I think we probably should have been a bit more annoyed, because like the way that Wargaming are pushing through certain things, it's quite a bit disgusting in my opinion, because how they are pushing certain agendas is quite shitty, if you ask me. But either way, let's not always slack on Wargaming. Let's play the game. So we're in a tier 7 matchup. This Loza tank is actually quite capable of fending for itself. It has pretty good frontal armor, since it is the M4 Jumbo version. But at tier 7 that doesn't really mean a lot anymore, especially if you're going up against a T25 AT. Maybe the Black Prince might have a bit of a hard time going through your frontal armor, but there are vehicles that will not have as much trouble cutting right through us. There's a Boogie, so we actually hit the Boogie. The Boogie is a tank that can be quite dangerous. But it doesn't have to be. As you can see right there, he was taken out. Didn't take very long. There's an M4A1 up here. This is, I think, the standard Sherman. The standard American Sherman in the game now. Okay, show me what you got. I don't think he's going to be able to go right through us. You know what, just let's try our luck. We're gonna push him. He's in a very blue looking Sherman. And he was turning his turret around. That was a bit of a weird thing. But as you can see right now, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to the map. And the map is... well, the map is pretty horrific. If we look at it, we are all down here. And, well, at least a majority of their vehicles is also down here. So at least we know that we are not the only ones that have pushed an entire flank with everything that we had. Could you please not push me forwards? I do not appreciate that. Okay, I did get hit by that Hellcat, but the Hellcat also has quite a lot of pen on that vehicle. But the one thing that really irritated me was that this M4A2 was able to go right through my frontal plate, since he's also running a Sherman Jumbo. But he's actually not running the premium variant, and we are running the premium variant. Well, you can see here, this Panzer IV Anku. This is actually a tank that has, well, that is actually a Panzer IV that they made in, you know, in cooperation with another company, Girls on Panzers or something like that. I don't watch a lot of animes. I actually don't watch animes at all. It's just not really my kind of thing. But obviously, a lot of people enjoy them. And this Panzer IV is actually like a product of that corporation, and it's like a anime tank those girls play or drive, and I have no idea what the history is behind that. But we're getting hit by that T-25 in the back. So let's see that we can just back off a little bit and take this corner. While we're actually completely losing our cap to like 4 tanks that are pushing us. And we've lost like 3 of our vehicles in a row. So I'm just gonna let these guys right here push. And I'm gonna fall back and help out the Britannia Panther. Sup the nuke, sup Mac Ballong. Sorry if I slaughter your name. That's really not my strength. The pronunciation of different names is really not my strength. I'll have to check. 1 second. I'll look at the text messages in just a second. We'll have to deal with these guys first, and then we can deal with everything else. Okay, there's a Skoda T24, there's a VK, and there is a Stridswagen M4257. The Type 59, I heard that they are selling the Type 59 right now for about 80 bucks. I think on the North American server it's $80 US. That's a lot of money for a tank. It does come with, I think, 12,000 gold and 3 months of premium time and some other goodies, but it's $80 for a Type 59. The thing is, obviously, the Type 59 is a collector's vehicle. I think we all know that the Type 59 used to be one of those super powerful Tier 8 vehicles. It used to be the T-54 of Tier 8, and nothing could really go up against the Type 59. Everyone was playing the Type 59. The Type 59 nowadays, now in 2021, is, I don't think, really that powerful anymore, because you're basically buying into the Type 59, a vehicle that is still very good in its, I'd say in its collective state. It's still a nice tank, but the thing is just that the Type 59 used to be overpowered its state, that has completely vanished because we have seen so many tanks that are just that much better that the Type 59 is just now an average and mediocre tier 8 medium tank. The question is, are you ready to pay a premium for a tier 8 premium tank that is quite old but is obviously a legendary vehicle in the game? Do you just want it for, collecting purposes? So you're collecting tanks, you're a tank collector. I think if you're a tank collector, obviously the Type 59 is a vehicle that needs to be in your garage. I have a Type 59 in my garage. Let's just go over to it real fast. I did get this vehicle about 3 or 4 years ago. I did buy it when it was put back on sale because obviously the Type 59 is just legendary, and the Type 59 it just it just oozes all those things that I always wanted in a premium medium tank. Like it's quite well armored. It has decent firepower, decent mobility, and it was just a great all rounder. But the Type 59 today, it's just not as good as maybe the CS52 Liz. This thing has pen. It's not as good as the Lansen. The Lansen is fast. Doesn't have the auto reloading function as the Progetto 46 has. So, well, I mean, this tank, it's not bad. I still like it. We can actually play it. Why not? You know what? Jump right into a game. It's a nice tank to have, but it's like if they're selling it for a very high premium because they know that people want this tank because it's quite rare, or it used to be quite rare. No, actually, it used to be quite common. Then it became quite rare, and now it's also common again because you had a lot of chances to buy the vehicle. But I think if you can get this tank, just the vehicle itself, for a decent price, I would go for it. And if you really want to collect the vehicles, I think you have no choice other than to actually buy this tank eventually if you're a tank collector. But I'd say that the Type 59, if it would come out today, probably would be a below average performing medium premium tank in the game. It would be nothing special. So like you have to be ready for the price tag. If the price tag is too much for you, if you can't agree with those $80, I would not buy this tank. I would not buy the bundle. You have 1 month to think about it. I think it's until the May 29th, and it's going to be a question that you have to ask yourself, because $80, if there is a new premium tank or other premium tanks coming out that are really good and that are going to be costing you about $50 or maybe 60, I don't know. Do you regret the purchase of the Type 59? So, those questions are just they're going to be roaming around. But obviously, if you do get the Type 59, tell me in the comments in a video then when you get it. I will read it. I'll check all the comments. Like I do get a message. If you do write a comment, I do see them, and I will read all of the comments. I will not respond to all of them, but I will read all of them. So put it down in the comments that you bought the Type 59, and I would really like to know what you will think of the vehicle. Because the Type 59, it used to be such a cool tank. Like, I still remember when it came out in the year 2000 and... Well, when did this tank come out? 2013 or 2012 with the Chinese tech tree? It was such a cool tank. Like, everything at tier 8 was just Type 59, Type 59, Type 59, IS6, Type 59, IS6. And, like, to have a tank that was able to actually deal damage, have decent pen and be mobile and have armor, that was really, really nice. And yeah, I'm not really sure if, if the Type 59 still fulfills all of these categories. Certainly is no longer the fastest, but it was buffed. It was buffed, I think, several patches ago. And yeah, since then I've been taking it out for a ride every once in a while. Just doesn't have that crazy rate of fire or DPM that some other vehicles have. I mean, the Progetto 46 is just crazy. We're gonna take the hill. We're gonna play this like we would play a medium tank. I mean, the acceleration is still great, right? We have like 56 kilometers per hour is top speed, and you can see we accelerated to that top speed very quickly. Didn't take us very long. And still, top speed of 56 kilometers per hour is not bad, per se. Definitely not. But yeah, it's a great all-rounder, and I think that still is a title that this tank holds. Let's see. There's a bad Jet 12T right there. We missed him. The gun handling on this tank is a bit weird, not gonna lie. I do not want to overextend. I got lucky right there with the Type 59. Hate a damage gun. The Type 70 or the T-77, that is the American Tier 8 auto-reloading or auto-loading premium tank. I haven't really played that tank a lot. I do have it in my garage, but I haven't really played it a lot. We can try it out afterwards. It is not a bad tank. I think it's quite an interesting vehicle, since it's just basically a T-54E1 disguised as a Tier 8 premium tank with some really gnarly stats, if you ask me. Like, if you really want the Type 59 or if you really want the T-77, I think both of those tanks are actually not too bad. I don't think that they're going to be a horrible purchase, but at least the Type 59 has lost quite a bit of its, you know, crazy good stats or its performance ever since they have made other premium tanks, other Tier 8 vehicles that have just become very good. And the T-77 is like a new premium tank that obviously is very powerful and just has that 3-round magazine and probably quite a long reload if I recall correctly. But yeah, it's not a bad tank either. Okay, you can fire and then I'll fire. Oh boy. Do not want to get hit by the STRV. Nice. We are getting pushed in the north. And we still have 2 tanks right here. We don't know what's behind them. Okay, the VK fired. Oh, we bounce him. That's pretty neat. Can you please not always use... What is going on with these players? Why are they using me as cover? As a meat shield? There we go. Can't stand that when people are pushing you into the enemy when you can just always back up. That's really good. Really annoying. Still... Like, what is going on? Like, there's an AFK tank. The STRV seem to be AFK as well. Like, I think I'm in a bit of a weird version of World of Tanks at the moment. But probably because it's quite early in the Western, in South America. So yeah. T-77, I'm gonna be trying it out. I think the Tiger 2 over there is also sketch. Am I playing against only bots, or what is going on right here? It's not even moving. Like, okay, he's moving his turret, but that's a bit weird. At least the artillery is not a bot. At least I can say so much. The question is T77. Would I pay $60 for the T77? I think the question now for me is, would I ever pay $66 for any of the oh boy, any of the premium tanks anymore? Well, I think that really depends. I think I never really regretted buying the Type 59, but I didn't pay $60. I never regretted buying the Scorpion or the what was the other, the Progetto. I never regretted buying those, and they were quite expensive. I remember the Scorpion was actually quite expensive. The Progetto M46 was probably the best campaign tank that you could get. Like, you know, you remember the marathon tank. The M46 was one of the first marathon tanks that they actually put into the game, and I think I got it for 80% discount. In the end, I paid about $20, and that was definitely worth it. But you know, there are other vehicles that I think that were absolutely not worth it. For example, let's move on over the Mauerbrecher or the VK16801. I did receive this one out of the loot boxes, and this one I did buy. And it's just not a very good tank. It's just basically a huge mouse without the armor. And I really regretted that vehicle. I didn't regret the Schmalturm. I'm gonna be honest, that thing is really cool. Let's move on over to the T77 though, real fast. We can play this tank. I don't really play a lot of American heavy tanks, but I can give you guys a quick rundown about this vehicle. So basically the thing that made a lot of people upset was that this tank is still like, it's a heavy tank, and I think the T54E1 used to be a medium tank at that time. So they added the heavy tank into the game while the tier 9 version was still the medium. It was a bit weird, but people were really upset with several things. So this tank, if we take a look at its research, it has a 120 millimeter gun, right? This 120 millimeter gun allows you to have one magazine with 3 shells, and each shell does 360 damage. 360 damage alpha is at tier 8 is pretty damn naughty. That's going to hurt, especially if you are going up against tier 8, tier 7 vehicles. It's not a very nice thing to see. You have 232 millimeters of pen. That's really, really good. At tier 8, you're not going to have any problems going through anything, except for maybe the defender or some super heavy tanks that are hull down. You might have some problems there, but other than that, you're not going to run into any kind of issues. You have 2 seconds in between each shot, so that's actually quite fast if you think about it at tier 8. Your DPM though is not very good because it takes you 40 seconds to load like 3 shots into this magazine, so that takes quite a while. Your dispersion is also not the best at 0.37 at 100 meters, and also your aim time. So this gun has its pros and cons. So gun handling is not the greatest, but if you manage to actually hit something and do some damage, and it's going to hurt a lot, especially if you have the full clip ready. But then you have 40 seconds reload. 40 seconds reload is quite a long time at tier 8, and it's going to be very awkward in certain scenarios. You're going to get caught offside. People are going to be shooting you. The turret, on the other hand, is just like one of those trolley turrets, like the T69, like the T54E1 or the T57. The turret is not extremely strong, but you're still going to be bouncing some shots. Also, the armor is this rounded shape that really does help you with certain angles. People will have a bit of a problem going through at certain times, but it's one of those tanks that if you know how to fight it, you're mostly going to be able to pen it. But if he's moving around and you come in hot and you don't really aim it long enough, there are times where you're going to be bouncing off really awkward places because it's like this rounded design. So protection-wise, it actually isn't too bad. It isn't the most protected vehicle, but it also isn't the worst protected vehicle. If you look at the mobility, 48 kilometers per hour top speed for a heavy tank is not too bad either. So you're going to be able to keep up with a lot of the, let's say, a bit faster medium tanks. And you're going to be one of the first heavy tanks to arrive because you have 48 kilometers per hour top speed. Your traverse speed of 36.53 degrees is not the worst either, but it's not on the level as with medium tanks. And you have 8 degrees of gun depression, that is not too bad either. And if you put some equipment on this vehicle, if you have the right crew, if you even put some consumables on it, you can actually get this tank quite effective, quite combat effective. You know what? We're gonna make this the best version that we can play without spending any bonds, because I'm a cheap guy. I don't spend my equipment or my bonds on equipment at the moment. I don't have enough bonds for that. But I mean, you can get the aim time this version down to make this tank quite viable for even to mid to certain long range engagements. And you also have like heat shells, and these heat shells are pretty damn good. 299 millimeters of pen, and the shell velocity obviously is not too great, but the heat shells are actually quite nice. I think the addition of having APCR and heat is like, you know, those things that a lot of people don't like in World of Tanks, especially in premium tanks. But yeah, this is like a combination of a lot of those things that make this tank just not too bad. Let's say it's not a bad tank. We're not going to go into the crazy euphemisms. Yes, 48 kilometers per hour is pretty damn fast for a heavy tank. The T110E5 has, I think, 38 kilometers per hour, but the T110E5 has better armor. The T57 probably doesn't have enough armor to warrant that low speed, but the T57 has pretty damn crazy DPM, and it hurts a lot if a T57 hits you. So, yeah, I think it's a bit different. This thing with 48 kilometers per hour is probably a bit too fast, if we're being honest. Yes, APCR really helps you with leading the shots. It makes a lot of things so much easier if you're playing any kind of tank, especially if you need to have those snapshots in place when you really need to hit the targets. Then, you know, APCR is going to be really good, and then also great aim time and maybe good dispersion are also going to be of assistance to you. But those things, you know, they need to balance it out a little bit. So I think Wargaming want the players to play this vehicle as a tank that doesn't engage too much in long range sniping. But we're going to be doing that just now, real fast, because I want to see if anyone is actually going to be crossing over this this waterway, and if we can actually hit some heavy tanks while they get into position. There's no artillery in this matchup, so anything that happens in this game, it's absolutely on us to actually perform. And I just missed the EBR. That is awkward, because now I have I've wasted one shell that I could have spent over there. But yes, that's the story of the tank. I think three shells in an autoloader is always a bit awkward, because you fire one shell, you maybe miss, then you have two shells remaining. The question is, will you be needing that third additional shell that you just wasted? Should you be reloading now? But if you reload, it takes you about 35 seconds for, you know, at one additional shell. I'd much rather have 4 shells and then, you know, be reloading as soon as I shoot or fire the third shell. Then I think like reloading makes sense. But other than that, that's the question. Can we hit this TS5? So yeah, you can see the APCR, it does work. And, you know, that alpha damage of 360, we're rolling for 400 We have APCR. We hit him on the side. Oh, sorry about that. My bad. We managed to pen him right there with every single shot. Our armor doesn't hold up very well though. As you can see, we just got caught offside here. There's a SCB-1. There's still tanks shooting us. But if we actually move away from here and we get into this ditch, we can move all the way back and still be supporting these guys in the bushes. We didn't really pay too much attention to this place. There was probably a bit of a misplay. But yeah, that clip previously where we put everything into the TS5, I mean, that was a really nice clip, and I don't think that that should be something you should be able to do with this tank, theoretically speaking, because obviously Wargaming don't want you to be playing this tank as a sniper. But if you have the right crew, if you have the right equipment, well, I mean, you can make it work for you. Why not? So we are getting pushed in the middle right now. We are in a heavy tank as well, so we don't have the best camouflage values, but as you could see, the armor really, at tier 10 especially, we're not going to be able to absorb a lot of damage. We're just like meat pinatas, HP pinatas right there. So we much rather stay a bit behind and support the guys if they need support. One of the reasons why I'm not turning my tank around at the moment is because the reverse speed of this vehicle is really bad, and if I have to reverse, I lose quite a bit of the mobility that I need. So if somebody spots me and I'm backing up, I'm not going to be able to do a lot with that reverse speed. But right now we have a bit of an awkward scenario where we are losing the one side, and I'm trying to go over and help the G-Sor. But I think the G-Sor is going to be yeah, he's going to be dead. He just died. So the awkward thing right there is that I have 2 shells and I decide to reload now, because I think reloading now makes the most sense, because I'm in a situation where I will be needing 3 shots, and I'm trying to hide behind this hill without, you know, going too far forward. It's a bit of an awkward position. I probably should fall back, but I think it's quite important that we have somebody on this line so we can still have a bit of a crossfire. French autoloaders. I think a lot of those French autoloaders, I haven't played a lot of the French heavy tank autoloaders in a long time. I haven't played them in years, except for maybe the AMX 50B. But the AMX 50-100 I haven't played for a very long time, for example. But what I remember of that tank is that the aim time wasn't very good, the dispersion was really weird, and that the reload time was brutal. And the reload time on the AMX 50-100 I think was about a minute for 5 rounds. I don't think that this is as bad, but it kind of goes in the same direction with the reload time. Like 36 seconds or 40 seconds for 3 shells is probably not as amazing, but if you can get the right equipment on it, if you have a good crew, if you use some premium consumables, you can actually make this tank really good. Like, you can make it into a very powerful damage dealing machine if you're able to, you know, conserve your HP, because like those hits, they really all hurt, and yeah, every single one of those shots went right through my tank. So it looks like nobody is really interested in pushing over there, so that's my job now. There's like actually a little way I can shoot through to hit this Tiger 2. I'm just waiting for, because I don't want to. Yeah, that was dumb. Why do I drive like that? And one more. Oof. So yeah, like 2 shots. I hit 2 of them. missed one. We still did about 800 damage. That's pretty brutal, if you ask me. That's very brutal at tier 8, that's brutal at tier 9, and even at tier 10. Those things still hurt, right, when that happens. And we're almost loaded. But if somebody was out here right now, for example, the Progetto 65 just pushed us, we wouldn't really be able to do anything because the reload time just takes a while. So you have to be really careful. You have to know how to play autoloaders. You need to be quite vigilant. You always need to be on top of the situation. You need to know where to go, where not to go, when to push, when not to push. If you have quite a bit of game sense, I think autoloaders are really, really fun, and you can get the maximum performance out of these vehicles. But if you lack that game sense and you're bad as me with aiming, that shot somehow whizzed into nothingness, then it's maybe not as much of a joy to play. But I still think, why not? You know, why not train if there's always the option to learn. If you're new to the tank, if you're new to the game, if you don't really know how to play it, you can always learn how to play it, and why not? Why not dedicate a bit of time to learning to play that kind of vehicle role or that mechanic? Because that's how I learned to play like light tanks. I always had a horrible time with light tanks, but in the end I was able to play the light tanks because I got the experience and I never quit. And the light tanks now are my favorite class because they are really difficult to play still, but they are so rewarding if you get it right. So yeah, that was the T-77. Definitely a good tank. I think that if you get this tank, you probably won't regret it. Let's say you don't have any premium tank for the American tech tree. There is also, like, if you're looking for an American heavy tank, American heavy tier 8 premium tank, there are also other options. The T-26, you can still get this tank out of the garage. This is probably one of the best heavy tanks at tier 8 that you can get because it has basically everything going for it. It has the survivability aspect, right? It has basically the DPM. It has 10 degrees of gun depression, has great pen. You have decent mobility, 40 kilometers per hour top speed. You have maybe a bit of spotting as well. I'm not really sure what's the distance, probably 380 or something like that. No, 390. 390 meters view range, that's pretty damn good as well. So yeah, this is a great option. America, or at least the United States, in World of Tanks have quite a good choice of tier 8 premium tanks. Then you also have the Renegade, if the Renegade comes around. The Renegade has one huge problem, and that is obviously that cupola on top, but that makes the Renegade kind of balanced again. This is exactly what's missing in the tank design that's currently happening in World of Tanks. We're missing this thing big time in every kind of vehicle that is just so crazy overpowered. So yeah, the Renegade is a great option as well. I think great armor except for that thing on top. It has a great gun, decent rate of fire, great gun depression, mobility is on top as well, 45 kilometers per hour top speed. The Chrysler K, that is also a good choice. Just do not get the T-34. The T-34 is not worth it anymore. This vehicle is just really, really, you know, it's past its prime. I do have 3 marks of excellence on it, but I really highly advise against getting this tank. It's everything about this tank is not good anymore. And there are just so many tanks that just outclass this vehicle in every regard that it's not even worth taking out on the battlefield. But you know what? That's exactly what we're going to be doing because I like to play the T-34. It's been a while since I actually played it. As you can see, 89.4%. So I haven't really played it a lot in recent times, but this is still one of those tanks that I've played almost the most, next to the Löwe. So hi to everyone who has just joined. Hello, Hubert. Hopefully you guys have a good start into the weekend. If you're still working, hopefully you can get to the weekend faster. It doesn't take you too long. We're playing on the South American server, not because it is supposedly easier, but because I logged in wrong, and now I would have to relog into everything, and I can't do that midstream, so that's a bit of an awkward situation. But either way, well, we're going to be finding games at in the South American region, so we're just going to be playing some premium tanks. I need the credits, as you can see. I have 4 million, and I want to buy some tier 10s because I'm trying to get some tier 10 vehicles, and I want to make some videos about some tier 10s. But what I noticed on the South American server is nobody plays artillery. Did you guys notice that there was only one artillery in like, I don't know how many games? So like this is another game without artillery. So maybe if anyone wants to play World of Tanks on, you know, the North American, South American region, and you don't want to have any artillery, just play South America. It seems to be the place without any artillery. That's quite nice. How's Granny going? I'm not really sure what Granny means, but I'm going to let's say I'm going to take that as how grinding is going, or can you tell me what it means? Because life is going good. Grinding currently is also going pretty damn good. I think we've made about 300. No, I think probably 4 to 500,000 credits so far, and we've only played about, I'd say about 5 or 6 games. I'm not really sure, so that's not too bad either. But yeah, T-34. This thing needs it just needs an overhaul. If they want to address premium tanks at tier 8, this should be one of the tanks that really should get some love. Maybe some additional armor on the upper plate at the front, just maybe at the front. Get the gun handling, you know, get the reload time down just a little bit, and I think you can work this tank so well. Because it just has the turret that nothing, like, the turret is so strong. It still can be so strong. You have 10 degrees of gun depression, I think. And like on a map like this, where we can push the hill, the T-34 can actually be quite well as long as you can hide the lower plate. The reload time just makes this a bit of a pain. It used to be fine because back in the days, the huge caliber gun made a huge difference. Nobody had such a big boomstick at tier 8, at least a premium tank. Nobody had that. And then they released the IS-6, and the IS-6 just completely destroyed the balancing part of matchmaking at tier 8 for a bit. Completely wrecked it. I still remember when the IS-6 was introduced. So okay, you know what? We're gonna be sniping this Löwe. And we're going to be hitting him right there. 368. That's a painful hit. I tell you guys, there are weird things happening on the South American server. And I don't even know why. But there are weird things happening here. They have a T-26 that's pushing the hill. They have a AMX, now the 53 TP. And that they have a T-34-3 and an IS-3. Okay, I thought I could shoot through that thing, but I must have just missed him right there. The problem for a lot of my teammates is probably... Ah no, he just turned his turret. Oh no, there's a Buas. That Burask over there shows up again, I'm going to get hit for quite a bit of damage. So Type 59, please back up. Get into cover. Unfortunately, I'm not able to put one into the 53 TP. But maybe right there. No, we missed it. Okay. So this is where the T-34 obviously is best suited for a situation like this, where you can use your massive turret for your advantage. And he probably was able to hit my upper plate. Have to be careful that we don't overexpose too much of everything. That 53 TP we can only pen if we have a nice angle at his flat part. Another hit on the 65T. A bit lucky right there with RNG that we managed to go through that place again. But he should be able to hit our turret. Okay, so... oh, you can see the accuracy, the aim time, the gun handling, everything with this vehicle is just... It's just not what you want when you're playing a tank. That one bounced. And now we'll have to deal with these guys before we can deal with anything else. Let's see that we can actually take out one of them. Maybe the IS. That's dumb. Yeah, 10 degrees gun depression, still not good enough. Right there. As long as this IS-3 doesn't push over and kill me, I can still maybe take on T-26. Oh, this is a very awkward situation right now. And we also didn't really use all of our shots effectively. I really need to kill like at least one of them. Okay, we take out. You can just see like the turret works. It works. It just works. You cannot kill me with a single shot, so I'm gonna fall back. And I'm gonna deal now with the MX-65T. So yeah, really lucky that they didn't push over the ridgeline. They didn't commit enough in the end, but the Buras comes in. He steals the kill, but that is certainly a good game for the T-34. That is a good game, yeah. To be able to withstand that much damage, 2,140, without actually, like, with being completely out in the open and not, like, hiding somewhere in a hull down position. That is only possible if the opponents don't commit, if they don't push you, and if they don't really know the weak spots or the weaknesses of this vehicle. Oh, let's see. I have to move on over here, else can't really hit him. Yes, this is a nice game. I have to be honest. The big problem that we have right here is that they actually have a bit of an advantage with the spotting. But it looks like they're gonna lose one of their scouts. But we just lost our Burask, and the Burask was very important for us. So the Burask, he moved up the hill, he killed this guy, he moved down the hill, he got spotted, and he was killed by the tank destroyer. That is a very unfortunate situation for us. I used to run this tank with not with vents, but with coated optics. Wasn't binoculars, but coated optics. And coated optics actually allowed me to spot quite a few tanks. It was hilarious to have like 430 meters or 450 meters view range, and the opponents were just like completely baffled when somebody would just put like bloody coated optics on a heavy tank, especially on a T-34. But since you can always kind of show your turret most of the times, it actually worked, and that's a nice thing. But yeah, this is a really awkward game right now because we don't have the view range. We cannot go into that part of the map. We cannot push their cap. Oh boy. Because most of the scenarios are or result in insta-death. If I get spotted somewhere, tank destroyer will just pick me off. I'm 395 HP, that's basically a one-shot. And fire support at the back is probably not going to be good enough or great enough to allow me to actually move on up and take on these vehicles. We just spotted the Burask. The Burask is definitely a player that knows what he's doing. Should have been able to hit him when he was in the bush, but I was taking a bit too long. But if we can take out this Burask, we have the advantage in view range, at least with the Schwarzpanzer. Just considering that it's a medium tank, he should have decent view range. But if the Burask manages to sneak up on me, or maybe even on the SU-152, or ISU-152, we're gonna have a bit of a problem. So it's a bit of a stalemate at the moment. It's just a standoff. Okay. Why people keep pushing into the Scorpion? Yes, good question. Sometimes it's difficult to not push into any direction and get fired at, especially on a map like this. This is a prime example for any place you go, you could die. So I think this is going to be going towards a draw, but I think we're not going to have. We are definitely going to see more of the Burask in a short, like probably in just a couple of minutes. We're gonna be seeing the Burask again. He can take a hit. I cannot take a hit from him. If I manage to finish him off, though, we could actually play more aggressively. Okay, so turns out the Burask just opened the one side. So now it's a very awkward scenario because the scenario now is that they have access to our base with the Burask. And we have several enemy tanks that are out in the field now, probably crossing over to our base. And at the same time, they have vehicles at the back of their base, still camping there in the woods. So what I'm going to be doing right now is maybe not the best idea because I just opened the hill. I've just opened up the hill for them, which is could be the death sentence for our team. But well, we have the Rheinmetall Borsig, so maybe it was a bit of a rash decision to move back here. But I'm expecting people to show up. That's exactly what's happening right here. Obviously that happens. I am going to get spotted because I'm not very smart. And I'm not waiting until the bush is... Or when I fire when it still is transparent. That's not a very good idea. This is very awkward because I think the Burask now, if I were the Burask... Okay, I think I just lost this game. I think I just lost this game. Because I think the Burask now is on the hill. He moved in as soon as he noticed that I was gone. He's now going to the hill. The Scorpion G, who has remained hidden for such a long time, has just taken out the Schwarzpanzer, and now they're going to be looking for me. They know that I'm a one-shot, and all I can do now is wait for my inevitable demise. I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna be hiding with this tank. I'm gonna see if I can engage the Burask. Because I think he's coming down from the hill. At least that's what my money is on. I think he's waiting. He's coming down from the hill. He's trying to find me. And the Scorpion G might just kill me. Or the Burask could have spotted him from the open field. Nope. No. Why did I doubt my initial... So, okay. I do take one hit from the Burask, but I managed to take him out. And now this is an open invitation to die. Yeah, that was a bit of an unfortunate game right there that didn't really pan out the way I expected it to pan out. But still, a decent display with the T-34. This vehicle just doesn't... This vehicle just really doesn't get the recognition it deserves and doesn't get the love it deserves either. Ah, damn. Either way, it was a good game. I'm feeling a little bit like I want to play a light tank. You know what? We're going to be playing a light tank, and we're going to be playing the M41, the GF, the Tier 8 German light tank with the Wargaming League logo on the side. So yeah, I'm not the best light tank driver out there, but I should know what I'm doing. So let's hope that I don't embarrass myself completely. Hopefully. Hey, yeah, I've been doing fine. I've been doing all right. I'm currently also at college. I'm getting my degree in history, and everything has been a bit weird. Like the last year and a half has been weird. Everything has been weird. I've been playing a lot of, like, okay, I haven't really played that much World of Tanks, to be fair. I also get a lot of homework, like, for college, obviously, but everything has been a bit weird, yes. That's all I can say about the last 1.5 years. Like, I've had time to think about World of Tanks, and during the pandemic, I noticed that, you know, like last year I started doing videos or making videos again for World of Tanks, and I just noticed that, like, if you have nothing to do in the pandemic and you're just sitting at home all day, that you're going crazy, right? So I have I'm really fortunate. I have a great support network. I have great friends that I can still spend time with. Is it locally somewhere, or is it, you know, via video games? And also, I mean, I've just invested a lot of time into playing a lot of video games, and also World of Tanks, and to be fair, I've enjoyed it quite a bit. But yes, life has been a bit weird the last 1.5 years. But hopefully this game can make up for it. Yeah, I mean, if you're stuck at home and if you have a hard time with everything, you might as well just make the best of it, right? And we take out a very dangerous tank destroyer over there. Oh, but there's another very dangerous tank destroyer. And the funny thing is about these TDs, right? They all have no view range. They have nothing. They don't see us. Obviously, I've trained my crew, so I'm quite stealthy if I'm playing this vehicle, but there are a lot of TDs that should grow some eyes instead of just focusing on the damage, because you can, I mean, you really need, you're completely screwed as a tank destroyer if you have no eyes, and that's just something you need to consider when you're playing World of Tanks. The eyes are basically everything about this game. Our Lynx just crashed. This is like the second guy who has crashed on, you know, in a game. Like he just driven down some kind of a hole. He was driving too fast. I think all of the South American guys are having lags because like the things that have happened on the South American server are quite hilarious. Like the amounts of suicides, the ammo wrecks, the really weird plays, the AFK boys. I'm not really sure, but it seems to me that there are a couple of things not really working as intended. But yeah, I'm finding like the thing is, I've got to be honest, I'm finding it more and more difficult to find topics for World Tanks. So right now I'm a bit, I'm thinking about what should I do, what kind of video should I make, and like I'm not looking at this as a business or anything like that sorts. I'm not trying to, grow to a certain level to make money. Like I want to do something that I enjoy, and I enjoy playing World of Tanks. And because I always thought, you know what, I've played so much World of Tanks, I have spent so much time in this game. Why not, make a bit of content for people who might not have those premium tanks, and if they are really good, maybe give them an option, an outlet to see if that vehicle maybe might fit their playstyle, or if it's really bad, to show them that there are other options out there. And that's what I'm trying to do with my YouTube channel. So I'm not trying to be a huge YouTuber or anything of that sort. That's never been the target. But I really enjoy those live streams. I enjoy that, to be able to interact with people directly. I know that my channel isn't that big, and the times that I stream sometimes are a bit weird. And this is only this is only the second live stream that is actually like the official second live stream. I've had several live streams before, but I never really pulled them all through. So obviously, like I want to do this like on a more regular basis. And like, this is really weird. Did you see that defender? Like, how that defender just looked at us? He didn't even aim downwards, he just aimed upwards. And I mean, still, it was a good game for us. 3,600 combined damage. Not gonna be complaining about that. We didn't really have a lot of spotting to do, only for the Scorpion G and the WZ. But yeah, I'm gonna take it. I don't have XBM. I don't know anything about the enemy players. I just know that they have some really weird kind of gimmicks sometimes. They have really weird ways of showing their gameplay or playstyle. Okay, you know what? I'm really interested in playing the Schmalturm, because this thing, like, this is actually really, really annoying. I hate this tank. And there are several reasons why I hate this tank. Because this tank was in the game. This used to be the tier 5 German Panzer IV. This Panzer IV used to have the option to have that Panther turret. I know that the Panther turret was probably this S Schmalturm, which stands for narrow turret. This Schmalturm probably was never built. Like, if we check the description that this vehicle has, vehicle details. In November 1944, the Krupp Company presented several event projects aimed at upgrading the armaments of tanks and tank destroyers in service. Among them, there was a project for mounting the Panther Schmalturm turret on the Panzer IV Ausführung J. The project was not considered, as it would overload the suspension and production of the Panzer IV was being phased out. So the thing is, obviously this is like all fake. There was just plans, not even blueprints probably. But this tank with this gun used to be so good in World of Tanks. It used to be a tier 5. Obviously, that was overpowered at tier 5. But they took it out. They gave you the option to play the Panzer IV, the H variant, with the 10.5 centimeter howitzer gun. Okay, that's all good. At least that's still in the game. Unless, unlike some other tanks. But they actually put it back into the game as a premium at tier 6 with the Schmalturm and with the long 75mm gun. This gun is basically the same gun that you also have on the E25. And also, the rate of fire is really, really good. So, once again, Wargaming strike with a complete disgusting move. It's been a very long time since they did that, but it's a complete disgusting move that they actually added a vehicle into the game where they actually took something out of the game and you have to pay for it. The same thing that they just did, that they're going to be doing, is that this VK2801, this vehicle, it used to have a 10.5 centimeter howitzer gun, the exact same that the Panzer IV used to have. But now they're going to be bringing it back as a standard, no, as a premium tier 6 this tank with the 10.5 centimeter gun. And that's just like, I think that the market practices that Wargaming is doing, like, it's ridiculous that they are still able to go to pull that shit off. Because do you remember the last vehicle they did that with? And that is actually the ISU 152. Let's see, where's the ISU 152? There's the ISU 152. This used to have the BL9 or BL10 gun. And if you want to see that gun now, it is actually on the ISU 152K. You had to buy that tank. And I did not buy that tank because I didn't want to spend any more money on things that they've taken out of the game. But I actually got this tank in the Christmas loot boxes. But I don't really play it a lot. You can see I have 33% win rate. So yeah, I think that is like, that makes me so bloody angry that they are doing these things over and over again. And I still have these vehicles, right? So I'm probably a part of the problem. But I said I'm not going to be buying any more things from Wargaming as long as they, as long as they stay on that kind of course with all these market practices. If they are bringing Troop 2.0 into the game and the high explosive changes, and I think they're going to be doing that, if that is really coming into World of Tanks on PC, I can see that this game might just go down the hill really, really quickly, because Crew 2.0 and high explosive together just might ruin the complete experience for a lot of players out there. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, I know what you mean with the boringness that might happen when you're playing certain tanks and when you're talking about them. Yeah, I think like Wargaming and World of Tanks, like this used to be the game that I played every single day, like for years. And I would just play maybe one game, maybe two games, sometimes more. But if you play too many games in World of Tanks, with everything, the entire ecosystem just being like really toxic from time to time, and you get like into that toxicity as well, well, I think that, you know, it can make quite a big kind of, it has a huge impact on how you view the game. If like everything around you is always toxic, and you are being toxic as well, I think you don't enjoy the game. But you keep on playing the game because you've spent so much money, maybe you spent so much time on it, and you resent the game and you resent yourself for playing the game. But that's not what I want to have. I want to have fun in this game. I want to call out all the bullshit that is in World of Tanks, and I want to call out the good things as well. I mean, there's no game like World of Tanks out there, at least for us, tank enthusiasts. There's nothing out there that is like this game. And I still think it has a place in the year 2021. But they just need to pick up. I think Wargaming need to they need to see that sometimes they cross a lot of lines at once, and they just need to realize that they need to have better communication skills and that some of the ideas that they're putting into the game are hurting not just the game itself, it's hurting every single player out there. It's hurting the longtime fans that have enjoyed the game. It's hurting the development team as well. It's hurting their image. And, you know, it's all fine and good. I mean, Wargaming have made a shit ton of money on World of Tanks. They've made so much money. And I can't even blame them. People are willing to spend money on this game. I spent a lot of money willingly in this game, but there are times where you just have to say enough is enough, and certain practices cannot be supported, and that's where we are currently at. Like, I think this is now the year 2021 is going to be quite important for the future of World of Tanks. This year, this game is now 10 years old. 10 years. Wargaming have made a lot of money. They're moving on to other projects. They have their World of Warships. They've had World of Warplanes, which failed phenomenally, and they are also bringing out some new games. Like, I think one of the new games they're bringing out is like a third-person military shooter, which is also free to play. But I think that that's just not going to be working out if they're always on this money train, if the quality of the game is only secondary and the income is always the first thing, and the profit is on place or number one. And I've just realized that the company sometimes just doesn't care, and that's where we need to kind of voice our opinions and push back. Because let's be fair, like, what has been a commercial success for Wargaming? World of Warplanes has been a catastrophe. Like, nobody plays World of Warplanes because War Thunder does everything better. World of Tanks is probably the single biggest money printing machine for Wargaming. Then World of Warships probably in second place, and that's it. Like, if they have other projects that they're making and they're going to be failing, they still have World of Tanks. But what if World of Tanks just breaks completely down? Nobody plays this game anymore, and people get upset because of the changes. All of those things, they might happen, and it's kind of a sad vision. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm just being too pessimistic. But I think, like, a lot of us players, I think a lot of you guys, we've seen, like, all the things that have changed. Like, I don't think a lot of players are very new to the game. I don't think that there are a lot of players that are, like, that have come to World of Tanks, like, in the last 2-3 years. Probably most of them have, like, entered the game in the year 2015, 16. And, we've all seen how this game started, and then we've seen it develop. And probably a lot of players, quit eventually because they just didn't have any more fun. And, yeah, that probably is going to be continuing for quite a while. Look at this rate of fire. Like, I mean, this is ridiculous. This Boogie, probably a new player. That's also one of the reasons why I don't play a lot of low-tier games. Because there are a lot of players that are, new to the game, that are learning the ropes. Tier 6, Tier 5 is the very first place where the game really starts, if you think about it. And that's where they learn the ropes of the game. And if you're getting slaughtered by some kind of premium douchebag who's playing on the South American server because he wants to absolutely destroy everything for his little live stream, I can see the frustration growing with certain players. I can see why people stop playing this game when they've just gotten into it. Yeah, I know. It's a bit sad that their interest in the health of the game is not that. Like, I have the feeling we care more about the game that Wargaming cares about the game. At least like they are obviously going to deny that, but if you think about it, I mean their actions speak so much louder than all the words um, that they've shared with us. Because if you think about it, look, there's another guy who just committed suicide right there. But if you think about it, like what is really crazy, they have told us about the weak spots. Like we have talked about weak spots and all those things for a very long time, because it's obvious for me. It is obvious that you add a weak spot to a vehicle. If you don't have a weak spot, how are you supposed to have fun? How are you supposed to go against like opponents that don't have any weak spots? You cannot flank them around all day long, right? And it's so weird that they just taken out all the weak spots. Like they're gone, just like that. The weak spots are gone and they're no longer part of the game. And I just think that's really awkward if you think about it, because like, what the hell? How is that possible that weak spots all of a sudden are not a part of the game anymore, when it has been the way that this game has been run for like 6-7 years, and now they're bringing in tanks that don't have any weak spots anymore? Like, can you please like care to explain? Because that doesn't make any sense from a gameplay perspective or from a balancing standpoint. But yeah, there are a lot of issues with this game, but I'm still playing it, aren't I? So Wargaming must be doing something right. I'm gonna see if I can take out this VK real fast. I need to be able to kill him. Nice. I have some support. Didn't know that Cheeto was going to help me. But we need to engage these guys. So we have the flank clear. If we can clear this flank right now. Oh, that was a horrible shot. But my rate of fire is really good. I have a better rate of fire than this Cheeto. Probably also because I have like a super crazy crew on this vehicle. But yeah. I mean, if you look at this tank, it looks cool. The skins look really cool as well that I have for most of the tanks. There's like this mosaic kind of style with Yuri Gagarin on the side, like the space exploration skin. We still have a KV2 somewhere. I didn't really know that we still had a KV2. Let's... Oh, we still give him one more shot. Come on, do one more. Oh boy. Can he one-shot me? Yes, he can. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, 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 don't do it. Oh, he actually didn't one-shot us. He must have fired. Come on, Cheeto. We can take him. How is he not dead yet? Oh my god, I just thought Cheeto was going to die. We have arrived at the stage where it's all about getting the maximum amount of damage before you die. So. Oh boy. I can feel artillery. I felt artillery, and artillery felt me as well, unfortunately. Yeah, the problem with the premium shells, I think that you can... Maybe you can balance out premium shells by just limiting the amount of premium shells that you can carry, and also by reintroducing weak spots on vehicles. If you can reintroduce weak spots on tanks that don't have any weak spots, for example, the Object 279E, or maybe other vehicles such as the Object 705A. Where is it? Right here. This thing doesn't have any weak spot on the turret. Like, the only way you can really do anything towards this tank is by spamming it with either high explosive or with heat shells in its face. If you don't have any kind of, you know, problem with the, if you, I mean, if you have no weak spot on top of this tank, like those cupolas on top are supposed to be weak spots or something like that, then I think you have a bit of a problem. Obviously, this tank has no weak spots on top. Turret is also quite strong on the side. It's 180 millimeters thick, so yeah, this tank has no real weak spots on top. Like, the only weak spot is this lower plate, and maybe the angling here if you have the right position, the right angle. But I think it's ridiculous. Look at this tank. I mean, look at the statistics that we have with this vehicle. I know it hits very hard. I know that this tank hits very hard, but it actually has, for 3 marks of excellence with the object 705A, where I have 75% win rate in, you need to deal 4,470 damage on average per game. If you're able to do that, then you can actually get the 3rd mark of excellence on this tank. I have 4,000 moving damage at the moment, and 4,000 moving damage is only like in the 1st mark of excellence range. So that tells you a lot about the tank. I mean, if you go on to any other kind of tier 10 tank, maybe the object 140, well, the moving average is still about 4k right there, but that's a Soviet tank. Like, you know, it's quite crazy. Those mark of excellence can tell you quite a bit of a story. You know, 4,470 damage for 3 marks of excellence on this tank. It just doesn't have any real issues. Hasn't gotten any real opponents out there on the battlefield. But I feel like playing a heavy tank, maybe Soviet. I'm just going to be playing the IS-5 because I actually spent bonds on this thing. And bonds are worth more than premium and than gold. So this tank better be worth it. I also have like the upgraded equipment on it, but I have to upgrade it by, you know, paying 3 million credits, and I only have 4,242,000. So I still need a lot more credits to be able to afford that. But hopefully, if I can stream a bit more, I can get all the credits that I need into my pockets, because I really like to play my premium tanks. I know I'm a bit of a basic bitch. I play my premium tanks way too often, and I'm looking forward to playing my premium tanks most of the time. Yeah, the IS-5 is getting an upgrade. Or no, it's not getting an upgrade, but it's getting a buff. And I know that the buff is going to be quite nice. Hopefully I'm going to... I'm not going to be making a video about that, but hopefully it's going to make the tank a bit more resilient, because I think the IS-5 at the moment is a bit weak. But other than that, I don't think they have to do too much. The gun handling isn't bad. The gun has like... The IS-5 just always had that advantage that the IS-6 didn't have, and that was to have APCR and heat as premium shells. The IS-6, like, its gun is completely... its gun is completely obsolete, but the IS-6 has preferential matchmaking. This tank doesn't have preferential matchmaking. What it really needs is a bit of an update on the armor. This tank looks a bit like the original IS-8, when they still called the T10 the IS-8 with the pike nose design, but the T10 was completely reworked, and at least, well, they put the IS-8 out, but the IS-5 comes closest to the IS-8 when it was still in stock. It's just not as long as the IS-8. That's a bit sad that they actually did take the IS-8 out of the game, because I really, really, really liked the IS-8. That was a great tank, and obviously you still have the T10. But the IS-8, the T10 just doesn't have the same thing that the IS-8 has. Maybe I'm just talking out of, you know, nostalgia at the moment, but The IS-8 still has a very I hold it very dearly to my heart. The IS-8, great tank. But we're gonna go into the city. It looks like our team is really interested in the 1-2 line. Seems to be that the meta here on the South American server is just like on the North American server, and they like the like the valleys and the 1-2 lines, those massive pushes with just like massive armor. Looks like they're big fans of that as well. There's a CS-59 in the middle. The Burask is gonna make a move. He's gonna make a move. Come on, hurt him. And no way, I just missed him because he slided down there. 3, 2, 1. No way, come on. This tank doesn't have the best accuracy. Have I told you guys that? Oh my god, now this is a joke. What a waste. The IS-5 also doesn't have any ammo. Like, it doesn't have any ammo reserves. It's just fitted out with the bare minimum. There's a 277. Camera over there. Centurion. Action 10 there. I want to kill this Chimera. No. No. Kanone Yakban. Okay, like everyone is aiming down this alley. Everyone is sitting back there. Like there are at least 3 tanks. Hopefully I can get away unscathed or almost unscathed. They're still gonna be looking at me. Oh boy, what the hell? They can actually shoot all the way back here. Didn't know that. It's been fun. It's been fun. Wish you a good night and good luck with your lessons tomorrow. Vietnam, yeah, it's a nice country that I definitely want to visit. Sometimes, eventually, when all of this is over. I cannot hurt this I cannot hurt this E100. This is really an unfortunate situation. Yeah, unfortunate. IS-5 needs a massive buff now. This tank just needs a bit of love, definitely. Unfortunately that we lost that game against tier 10s and against a team that is all just sitting there at the 1-2 line. Cannot really do a lot, but unfortunate. But either way, my booster is about to run out. Still have 20 minutes remaining. I'm gonna be playing one last game, and then I'm gonna have reached the magic number of 2 hours on the mark. That's exactly where I want to stop and hopefully stream soon again because I'm starting to get really hungry. It's also 6 p.m. now over here. And I'm probably going to be making some more Quill of Tanks videos in the near future. There's one coming out just in a couple of days, don't you worry about it. I'm going to be talking about the M44, a tank that I certainly despise, but a lot of people do value very much, although I don't really know why. or I know why, but I cannot really understand why they enjoy hurting other people so much. But yeah, everyone has a different kind of way of expressing, happiness. If you like it when somebody is hurt, well, you're kind of a douchebag. People playing the M44, that's just crazy. But either way, we're gonna play one last game in the LT432.
Выдвигаемся.
Minsk. We're going up against quite a few tier 9 vehicles. And we'll have to be kind of careful where we go. And when we're staying in the middle, we should probably not stay here too long. They actually haven't spotted us yet, which is kind of crazy, but yeah, no way in hell am I not gonna get spotted right there. There's the WZ. Oh, is he actually moving? He's making a play. Oh no, what? I think that was the lag that I have, unfortunately. Hopefully I can hit this WZ. No. Don't do this to me, game. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Let's get this guy. So we have tracked the WZ-120. And we should be able to put some pressure on him if he would move just a little bit. But it's weird. Okay, there's a oh, that's Centurion. Centurion just got owned when I moved on over. Oh, really unlucky right there. that must hurt so much. When you get like pushed by a light tank and you get lit up for the entire world to see. That's not gonna work out for you. Unlucky little bugger. Okay, so there's the T-26. I'm quite confident with this tank. Not gonna lie, I'm very confident with this Soviet LT. This Soviet light tank is just so freaking good. Such an overpowered premium tank. Let's be fair. Ridiculous that they actually put something like this into World of Tanks like that. The LT432 is in the game, like that's completely ridiculous if you think about it. Look at how fast it goes. And it has armor, which is also pretty nasty if you ask me. Look at that. You don't need to aim. You don't need to aim when you have Stalin on your side. Oh boy. Okay, now I have to be careful because this... Okay, this Lynx has enough of me. Oh, he's gonna follow me. He's gonna follow me. Let's go. And he has enough of it. He's not going to be coming over for more again. I don't think so. Okay. But I need to help them out with spotting, so I'm going to make a play Going to see if I can put some pressure and get the Lynx killed. But I unfortunately get myself killed in the process as well. The game was also still going on for much longer, but I still managed to do about 3,500 combined damage. That was a very fast kind of game, but very action-packed in the end. And I think our team is going to win this. I'm pretty certain that this is going to be a win for us. Let's look at the K91. This tank is very special. As you can see, it looks really weird, and the way that this guy is playing it is also very, very weird. He must be texting or something, because I mean, he would have, like, he has all the angles. He can do whatever he wants. He can push in here, he can push down there, and he decides to sit right there and not do anything. Oh, there he goes. Is he going to be able to hit the ML1? I think the team is going to win it because my team has just completely managed to surround everyone around the city there. So we're just going to go out there and we're going to be playing one more game because I still have about 15 minutes of, you know, the boosters going, and then we're going to cut the stream. But let's see. I'm going to be playing one final premium tank, and I think I'm thinking about what I can play. You know what? I feel like playing the KB5. I feel like playing the absolute beast that is the KB5. This is legitimately the best tank ever. There's nothing that you can say about the KB5 other than it is the best tank that has ever been on the planet. It's never been built, probably just blueprints, probably never existed in blueprints either. Just a little imagination that some kind of wargaming employee had when he was smoking some kind of weird substance. But this tank, after 10 years, is still a complete mystery. Like, what were they thinking with this tank desire? What was it supposed to be? And I think the answer is not very apparent. It's supposed to be some kind of huge monster that probably just doesn't do anything. But let's see if we can get into a game. Since it has preferential matchmaking, it might take a bit longer than usual. Takes quite a while this round to actually get into a game, but it's going to be worth it, trust me. There we go. And we have Studzianski, and that is actually the perfect map for this. Okay, I know exactly what I want to do with the KB5 in this scenario. We're going to be pushing the H line And we're just gonna rush right through. Wow, nice. We won the game with the LT 432. That was a win. But we're gonna move right through them. We're gonna cut right through them without paying too much attention right there to incoming fire. Our M41 90mm was just wrecked by the T-34 100, and that was a very bold and rash decision to move in like that without any support. And we were right behind him. He just had to wait for about like a minute or so, and then we would have been right there with him. You cannot hide. You cannot run from me. I'm inevitable. I'm like death. You're going to die, and you know it. So why even fight it? Why fight it? T-44, why fight it? Come back here and die. This is ridiculous, this T-44. Okay, now he has to move. Oh my god, he's really gonna move again. Behind that thing. God, I feel like a bot. I feel like a bloody bot. Oh, he's been tracked. He's been tracked in place. No, 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 WZ, don't die. Whatever happens, WZ, you're not going to die on me. No way, I flunked that shot. Flunked it right into the ground. And the IS, right here, the IS actually managed to put one into me. So, but we're spotting for our team, which is kind of funny if you think about it. And there are actually quite a few tanks up here. Oh, there's a Brigetto. There's a Brigetto. There's our Brigetto. No way. No, 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 you're not gonna... He's just penning me. Help. This is not how I thought this was going to go. Come on, man. Be for real. Just push him around. Yes. Artillery. I'm so dead. I'm so dead. Oh, come on, you. Absolute prick. Gold shooting. Ah, no way. We were way too aggressive with the KB5, but we caused so much havoc. Unfortunately, the support was just a bit lacking, a bit lackluster. But it looks like our team's going to be able to push through the other side, so we're potentially looking at another win, hopefully. Hopefully it's another win if they can push this IS-2. If this KV-3 or IS can actually decide to do something, we might just win this game. And this T-32 has some problems with getting up this hill. But you know what? We're gonna see how well this team can actually deal with the enemies now. Come on, T-32 is right on your left. No, T-32, no, where are you going? He's right next to you. Oh, you're gonna get shot in the back. T-32. Okay, this T-32 is on a mission. He's on a mission to avenge anything, and he doesn't care about a Tiger II that is in his rear. He only cares about what is in front of him, because what's behind him is already the past. And he doesn't care about the past. He only cares about the future. And I'm pretty damn sure he's going to get killed by artillery. I can already sense it. But to be fair, at the same time, he needs to do something right. So he's doing something. He's pushing them. Well, we still have 2 tanks defending the base with the Lancency and the Carnarvon. Carnarvon, excuse me, for the right pronunciation. Oh, that bounce. Hit the tiger. You guys can do it. Unfortunate. He has the 90mm gun. But he's still gonna be able to get right through the side right there if he looks a little bit at that over-angling. Oh, the Tiger 2 does get him though, unfortunately. But I think the IS should have the Tiger 2 secured in it. Ooh. T-32 is coming back though. That's good. Well played. But I think they lost way too much HP on the Tiger 2. Let's see. We still have a Stritzwagen. That thing can hold down an entire sector if he wants to. Oh, our Carnarvon is basically dead. He was over-angling a little bit, unfortunately. And our Lancency is now on his own. He should probably fall back a little bit, but it's not going to happen, at least. In my experience, I don't think that they're going to be falling back. What they need to do is they need to take care of artillery, because this T-32 is just getting chipped away. You know, HP, shot by shot by shot. He just loses a little bit of HP right there. And then, man, definitely hurts the T-32, that artillery piece. Oh, hopefully he can take care of it, this VK. He's using a bush. It's good to see he's using a bush. The T-25 has enough. Let's see what the Lanson is doing over there. Oh, we just lost the T-32. No, we lost the T-32. We're gonna lose the Lanson. Oh no, 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 Lanson. Lanson. You poor fellow, you're gonna get absolutely wrecked by somebody in the back. Yes, by artillery. Who else but the M12 would shoot the Lanson right there? I thought the M12 was still on the T-32, but I was mistaken. But I have all my faith in this VK, because I think this VK is going to light the T-25. He's gonna stick behind the camel, or behind the foliage, and he's going to be able to take him on. But the thing is, he moved a bit too far, and this whole space right there, this hole right there in the camouflage, made him visible to the T-25, and he unfortunately died. So my predictions were not correct. We still have artillery, and we still also have... He's gonna shotgun him. Just look. Just watch. Do it. Do it. Yeah, obviously artillery's gonna shotgun him. I love this. I love this so much. When artillery just completely wrecks your face like that, and all you can think about is, well, you're gonna get it. You're gonna win it. So this is a really interesting match, because it's so even at the moment. We have a full HP Stritzwagen, they have a full HP ISU 152K, who has already gotten 4 kills. The Stritzwagen now is in a very good position. He has some camouflage right there. He can spot these guys, and he's just, you know, firing at all of these guys. Unfortunately, I clicked away by my mistake. And also, I think he's gonna get this IS. He's gonna take him out of the game. Unfortunately, he's only at 12 HP. That shot didn't finish him off. If he can get the IS and the T-25, it's a clear win. But how quickly the tables have turned! Holy shit! Did you see that? we just lost both of our tanks to the ISU 152K, like really, really rapidly. And our Stritzwagen now is all by himself because he wasn't able to finish the T25 AT and the IS. Now he's up against 4 other vehicles and he needs to find a position where he can actually engage all 3 of them. So this is really awkward. This is really, really awkward for him. Because in this position right here, he cannot really do a lot. He needs to move over here and get into the bushes here because he knows that if they move out, he can see them. And he needs to use binoculars that he has. But the problem is the house is in the way. Is he going to knock down the house? That's the question. Is he going to knock down the house? He's not happy with the position. He's got to be moving because he can't see anything because of the house. He's not taking into account that there's a hole in the gap. But he's really, really lucky that he does not get spotted by the T25. Nice, and he gets the kill. The question is, yeah, he's gonna get lit because obviously that distance is like 50 meters, so he's gonna get a massive hit probably from the ISU 152K. But no, I'm rooting for the Stutzwagen. He's he's doing all he can do. He was pretty absent the entire time of the game, and now it's his time to shine. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to get something out of this. Either the ISU 152K or the artillery is capping, or the IS even. Could be the IS. I don't think that the artillery will still be hiding at the corner of the map. I think artillery will probably have moved over to the cap. We're gonna lose this by them capping us out. They're playing the safe route. It's not dumb, to be fair. They're all on low HP, and this Stritzwagen probably could take him on if he plays smartly, but it looks like they're gonna just cap it out. All 3 of the tanks are in the cap now, and we're gonna lose this based on capping. Unfortunately, we weren't able to win this one. We just died way too early. We didn't do enough damage. We died too soon. And our team, well, they kind of abandoned the flank a bit too quickly. But yeah, it was not a bad push. It was just too many vehicles were there. Especially that M46. As soon as that M46 came around the corner, I was sweating bullets. Especially when he started hitting me with all that premium, man. This guy was just loading premium, like his entire clip was premium. And yeah, that just didn't bode well with my KV5. If you come in with AP, I still have a chance, but if you come in with premium, you're gonna have the upper hand on me, and that's a bit of a problem. But either way, it's been fun, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream as well. I'm gonna finish it off right now. One quick thing. What credits tanks do you prefer? What makes your most income? Okay. From the premium tanks, what I really like the Progetto M46, which is the American, not the American, what am I saying? The Italian auto-reloading medium tank. This tank is great. If you don't have this one, this is a great pickup, because if you like medium tanks, you're gonna like this tank. It has great pen, great mobility, not a lot of armor, but it's just a very good all-rounder vehicle. It's a lot of fun, and it earns you a lot of credits. What I also like if I would prefer to go a little bit more on the heavy kind of side, to be a bit more armored, better protected as a medium tank, I think the Centurion the Centurion 5-1. This tank is really, really well armored. It has 121 millimeters of frontal hull armor, and it is very nicely angled. Then you have 254 millimeters armor on the turret, It's really, really strong in hull down. It has 10 degrees of gun depression. It has really, really good rate of fire. Mobility wise, it's also not too bad for a medium tank with this kind of armor protection. This is not a bad earner either. It's a tank that I really enjoyed as well. If I would talk about tank destroyers, I would definitely um, say the Scorpion G. If you don't have the Scorpion G, this tank, I mean, if you can play a bit more defensively, if you don't like to be very offensive with this tank, I think you can sit in the back. But if you want to be offensive, you can also use it. If you can stay hidden, you can make this tank work very, very well. This 128 millimeter gun is just so damn good. It's so good. And this tank I highly, highly recommend if you want to have a hard punching tank destroyer that can do a lot of damage and can earn you a lot of credits. This is exactly it. This is the Scorpion. Or if you cannot get the Scorpion, but you want to play tanks that are like the Scorpion, the SU 130 PM is also one of those vehicles that is similar to the Scorpion. It just doesn't have the same stats. It also can only swivel its turret to the right and to the left by, I think, about 180 degrees. So you do not have the full turret rotation that you have with the Scorpion G, but it's also not a bad credit earner. Now, if we're talking about heavy tanks for me on the American tech tree for premiums, definitely the T26 E5. This is a tank that earns you a lot of credits, that is really, really reliable, that is fast to move you from A to B, or it's fast enough, and it's a good investment, definitely. Now, if you're just looking for fun, if you're looking for some entertainment, and you want to earn credits while having the entertainment and the fun, I think that always depends on what you consider being funny, or what you consider being a fun tank to play. It depends on your class that you prefer, but a tank that is always fun to play and that I always like to take out to just screw around with and have fun is probably the Burasque. This Burasque is just really, really powerful. It's just way too strong. It's really powerful. It earns a lot of credits, and if you can just move around, if you can utilize the top speed, you can have a really great time with this tank. But there are a lot of tanks that can be quite decent. The CS52 Light Liz, sorry, is a tank that is really, really well rounded. Is a tank that you can enjoy on basically any battlefield, and is going to be doing really, really well at tier 8, even tier 9. It's not going to be doing too badly. I think the 112 is not too bad either. But there are a lot of choices. Now, there are too many to cover. Hopefully, I could answer your question. If you know the your kind of play style, I could be a bit more specific, but it depends on what you are looking for. If you're looking for something fast, if you're looking for something that has more armor, there are a lot of different categories. So obviously for armor, the Object 703 and the Defender are always good options. The IS-6 is no bad option because the IS-6 still has preferential matchmaking. You'll never be seeing tier 10 vehicles. Even against tier 9s, you can still make it work. The KV5 is a bit of a joke tank, but it's fun. The LT342 is for light tank lovers. This tank is really, really good in all kinds of scenarios where you need a light tank that is very flexible. Really, really good tank. And yeah, I mean, there are quite a few. I'm planning on making more reviews. I'm planning on making more, let's say, shorter reviews about certain premium tanks to just show you guys a little bit what, like, depending on playstyle and preference, what kind of options you can have, because there are a lot of options to choose from. But either way, hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream. I'm gonna cut it here because I'm really hungry right now, and I want to make myself something to eat. And I'm gonna see when I can live stream again. Maybe it's not going to be another week. Maybe it's just going to be in a couple of days, depending on how much I have to do. But it's been fun. I really like the discussion and the interactions. That's always nice to see. And yeah, tell me in the comment section below what you thought of this second live stream, and if you have any kind of requests, just put it in. Next time I can take a look at it, and maybe I can just fulfill the request and talk about the vehicle or the mechanic, whatever. And as always, the video will be um, on the YouTube channel, just like as a video. It will be in there, even if you missed the live stream. I don't really announce the live streams because I'm just doing it on very spontaneously, but hopefully you can catch the live stream if you're interested. And if you're not interested in the live streams, obviously you don't need to watch them, and you can just watch the content. And if you don't want to watch the content, you can also not watch the content, because nobody is forcing you to watch anything. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna cut it, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Until then, have a good time and peace out.